Good morning.
Good morning. Mine's still too hot to take a sip of.
Oh, as you guys know, put out the barn video. Appreciate all the people that jumped in the premiere. There was almost 3,000 people, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
29
That's
something.
crazy.
Yeah, we do appreciate that. But I had to say, where y'all at in our normal live chats? Huh?
Yeah.
Where y'all? Nah. The comments would go way too fast if that was a normal live chat. But so far, I haven't seen any comments saying Black Roof is going to be too hot. So, I haven't looked fully yet, but definitely in the premiere, everything was nice and positive. I don't know. You always have to take a risk, I guess, of when you start doing your color palette of your place. And we threw out the idea of like the traditional red barn. Have everything. We already kind of knew we liked the black and gray, but we were like, well,
at the very beginning we were gonna do like blue and gray. Members?
Yeah, that's what you saw a picture and liked it.
Yeah, and then as time went on, I think it was once we saw Cold Beer barn with the black and gray, we're like, black and gray just looks so good. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, we already liked the gray because that's what we had at the other barn.
Yeah.
And so the combo of it, I guess, is what we really like. And so there are quite a few of them actually, on the way to go pick up the metal and where we order our lumber and stuff. We get to see a couple of them, different styles and stuff, but they're the black and gray. And it didn't matter how it was built, it just looked good. It just like a very slick, modern looking barn.
Yeah.
And so we decided with that, and the gray goes with our grain bin. Clearly not the same, but it's in the same realm. And then we were going to do some type of like wood on the front to kind of spice it up.
Kind of like how we did on Shoot Dang Ranch, the shop,
doors,
the headquarters.
We're going to do something like that, and then stain it the same colors, like the water well, chicken coop, do the deck, do all the stuff. But once we started doing the barn, we're like, that actually looks pretty good by itself. We can do landscape and stuff like that, and it'll really set it off. But we didn't really go into like detail on it. I just wrote like a little thing on there. But around the doors, we did 2x6, and
instead of the metal. Yeah,
it's the beefiest door frames I've ever done on like a building and stuff. I mean, it was a 2x6. I mean, I cannot think straight. It was a 2x8 and a 2x10, I believe, hooked together to make the L to put it on. I mean, they were big chunks of lumber to put on there, and the big reason is, I don't know if they've ever actually seen it unless they're paying attention, I guess. The little loafing shed overhang thing we built that the pigs are in, it was them and then the boy goat, and I think it's more the pigs than the goat, but they like rub on the side, and it has chewed up the bottom of that thing. So having them go through the doorway, the moment they hit the side of the door, they're gonna be like, that felt good.
They're gonna be like, ooh.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, maybe we should do wood instead of metal, because if the wood messes up, it's easy to repair, easy to take off. You can repaint it. The metal, once it gets dented and dinged and all, it's over. You got to buy a whole new piece, and trim work for metal is pretty expensive. So I feel like this is going to last a lot longer, and it looked good being like the chunky, thick borders around the door. And then, been known to get a little wild with the tractor. If we have to get in there and do stuff and all of that, especially the main doorway, if we accidentally go in and hit the side of it or something, it's better to hit the wood and chip that up than it is the whole thing.
Yeah. Chipping up the metal and stuff like that would be...
Yeah.
It would hurt your heart.
Yeah. And so, we will be doing a lot more videos on the barn and how we're wanting everything in the barn, stalls, and we're going to do a concrete slab. We didn't want to talk about all of that and show all that in this video. We were just trying to show you all the build of it, what it looks like, and then we'll go into more detail. You may or may not be able to hear the wind. We got the door open, and it's just been windy nonstop.
I mean, and so the barn build, putting those metal pieces up in the wind, it's like a parachute.
That's why in the video I left it to where when you're handing it to me, it'll be like, all right, 3, 2, 1, you'll throw it, and it kind of goes up and then lands, because she's throwing it into the wind and then, you know, trying to carry them. And I told her, I said, I think we were doing the back, because we had to go like way up high. And then, so like whenever I was editing,
well, there you didn't.
I know, because there's a lot of stuff I wish I would have put in the video, but I was trying to cram everything in and trying to do it fast and trying to finish the barn. There's things that I forgot that I wish I would have put in there. But I think it was like the last tall sheet that was going up. We went up and I was about to get the drill or something, and the wind came and it took it back. And I was like, oh man, we need every sheet. We can't mess this up. And as it was coming back, it's a 10-foot sheet. We both just kind of came back with it and like went underneath it, and we caught it. And then you just looked at me.
About that.
You just looked at me and said, "That was a good catch." Something like that. And
maybe we could throw that in on Crocker or something. That was like, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the whole thing went back and almost like hit the ground, and we like caught. At least that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
In the video, it may just be like real slow or whatever, but
no, it felt crazy.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, because I don't remember exactly. Well, it's about $3.30 per foot, so that had been $30, $33, whatever, down the drain. And then we needed every sheet to finish.
Just to be missing.
Yeah.
One. That'd be not good.
Yeah, and then the way it was designed and everything, I drew it up to where like you use certain measurements for each section. So if that would have messed up, it's not like we could have just used it somewhere else. It's like we needed that exact piece right there. And it worked out great. We probably could have ordered like 15-foot sheets and then had one solid sheet in the back all the way up. But as you guys saw, we got 4-foot sheets, and we put them across the bottom on the back that goes real high, and then we just overlapped them.
And you can't see that seam unless you're right up on it.
Yeah, if you're like really looking for it, you'll find it. But if you're just passing by or looking at it, you know, kind of just whatever, you can't even really tell. And then we overlapped it correct, so then the rain hits and it goes down. I don't know. There are things with the barn that I wish would have gone a little different, or you know, little things could have been better. Like when it came to like the metal trim work, that's something to us that we don't really know. And you know, putting a corner on, sure, but whenever you have the roof come down, it goes to another piece, goes to another piece. Like, how do you hook them all up?
So it look right.
So one of the days we were working on it, I just told Dan, I was like, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'm not messing with this anymore, because we were cutting and doing this and doing that.
And again, we only have what we needed.
Yeah.
So it's like...
nothing to spare.
Yeah.
And so everything we were doing, we're trying to figure it out. And like, we looked at pictures, we're trying to look. But the thing is it would have been a little different. I don't know, if we would have made like the eaves come out a little bit more, it would have fit different. And would have, then when this, you know, it's...
A lot of pictures, it was like, oh, you do like this, but it's like, oh, these have the eaves.
Yeah, and it's stuff like that that's like, how how would we know how to do that unless you've done it? You know, and at least as far as we looked in the time frame, we didn't find a how-to of how to do that.
Yeah.
And the way the trim is, you know, we probably could have got, again, it's what we had, and it's what we got from the place and everything. If we had just a straight L, because that's not what they are. They're the corner, but then they kind of like cut back in, so when you put it over the ridges, it goes over the ridge, but then it's hard to describe.
And it go like this.
Yeah, but anyone that's ever done metal stuff, y'all know. But it's not just a straight L that would have just been like, bloop, and stuck on there. So whenever you have two pieces come together, and you got to cut them a certain way to make them fit. So there are things on there that could have been better, but for us, I'm happy. Very satisfied.
Oh, I could not be more proud of this barn.
I don't know if this is coincidence or creepers or what, but we've had multiple trucks drive by and like go real slow, and when they get to the end of the property, they take off.
Yeah,
so
I started making fun of Jason a little bit yesterday. I was like, it's a truck. Because, I mean, everybody that was driving by was just like...
stopping, basically.
And then you're like, what's that noise?
Yeah, and I'm like, no, that's a truck. And she's like, no, it's, you know, whatever. And I get out and it's a truck, and then it would just take off.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. Again, it could be a number of things. Who knows? But I do think they were probably stopping and looking either at, like, the grain bin or the barn or whatever. Because people around here, they're not, I mean, everyone's nosy, right? Everyone, if you could, you'd get away with, like, I would watch people all day do whatever and look at, I want to know what people are doing at their place.
Especially
and at their
your neighbors,
building.
You're driving by every day and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, they done that? Oh,
Yeah, I wonder what it looks like now.
Yeah.
You know, so everyone would be super nosy if it wasn't a bad thing. But I don't blame them for stopping and looking and stuff. It was just more of like, all right, who is this? And then, I don't know. Anytime like a neighbors actually stopped and talked, they were always like, oh, at first, are you building is that a barn or is that your house? Because no one thinks at first the grain bin's going to be our house.
Yeah.
So then they see a big structure, and then...
well, Jared said that we should make that into our house.
Yeah, Jared's like, dang, you should... I was like, well, the electric's over here. That's right over there. But if it was going to be our house, I probably would have built it a little different. I would have done it where, like, the inside, which you can always, like, re-brace, but, like, when you walk in the front entrance of it, I wouldn't want poles every 6 feet.
Yeah.
You know, you can go in and brace it up to where maybe you got, like, a 12-foot span, and that could be, like, your living room or your kitchen, so you don't have stuff like that. But as awesome as it'd be, and whenever I started... no, wait. You were here when we did metal.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Whenever we started putting the metal, I can't remember when we started it.
Because I had to carry it in the wind.
Yeah.
By myself. To you.
When it started getting enclosed, I really thought, well, whenever we were doing the roof, the whatever you call them, the rib part of it, I started, like, you could really, it took shape.
There you go.
And I started really thinking, I was like, we could make this a house. Like, this really could, and it's almost a shame we're building this for the animals, because I don't think they deserve this.
I was sitting back because, again, like, I would hand Jason the sheets, and I was, like, watching it as he's putting it up. I'm just, like, watching it come together, and I was like, Jason, this almost looks too good to be a barn.
Yeah. And, I don't know, that's a good thing, though, I guess. Our goal here, no matter how long it took, you guys know we were trying to get the video out on Friday, didn't work, took time. Appreciate everyone who reached out, made sure we were okay.
Yeah.
But it was just more of, we dealt with the wind. The wind was crazy, and then it got really hot. It went from like windy in 60s to like in the 90s and windy, and I mean, it just like was switching on us, and then
pollen all on the
I was
metal.
about to say something you'd never think. Well, around here, the pollen gets crazy where everything just turns green. And the roof, that's what a lot of people were like, oh, the roof is blue or the roof is green or whatever. It was green because of the pollen, but it was blue because it was getting a reflection of the sky. But I was up on top, and I needed to cut the boards that were sticking over, and I started like sliding down because of the pollen. And I told Danielle, I said, I'm going to have to wait till you get here, because if I slide off the very top, it's not going to be good. But it was things like that that you can't really take into consideration when you're like, oh, I can get this done tomorrow. Well, I never thought that much pollen would get on there and it'd be that slick. So there's things like that you get to take into consideration. And
our big thing was, like, we would have had it done by Friday, but the picking up the metal, they were closed one of the days that we thought, so they kind of put us behind there, and then we had to go to town to get some stuff that got us. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, we got it done.
And I mean, and that's kind of the I don't know, I can't think good this morning, but that's kind of the running thing now. That's not the word I'm going for, but is everything we do is it. And I think this is something Danielle learned about me a while back, and now she's a lot better. I would always say, oh yeah, this is like a week's project, and then 3 weeks in, you're like, I thought you said it was a week. And not being mad at me, but more of like, okay, then what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? And I'm like, look, every time I give you a time frame, it's what I think it actually could be done if everything aligns perfectly. And now it's more of like, okay, we're gonna get it done by Friday, and it's like, realistically, we're happy if it's done by Monday. You know, and
same Friday, and I was like, nope.
But I'm like, no, we can, because
if we had everything.
Well, yeah, but also, here's the thing, and it's for both of us, but you definitely learn about me as well, is if I say it's going to be done on Monday, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to, like, not slack, but I'm going to be like, all right, I'm tired, I can finish this part tomorrow. But if I'm like, this has to be done tomorrow, then I'm going to work until the end of the day and not be like, all right, I can just tidy this up tomorrow. It's like, all right, keep going. There's something in our brains that if we don't have a tight deadline, it's very, very hard for us to do. And it's not like we're like, oh, we just won't work today. That's not what I'm saying. It's just more of, it puts it into, like, double time. It puts it into... All right, I don't know. Saying it this way definitely makes it sound lazy, and to an extent, everybody is at some point. But
it's not like we're.
Damn.
Thank you.
Get a little caught up in there.
Yeah, it did.
I ain't lazy.
It's not like we're just in here watching TV and not working. It's like, no, we're still working the entire day.
Yeah. It just may not be on that exact project, or because I mean that's
the focus isn't as dialed in, I guess. But we flew through a couple things because there was a deadline of me being here. It's like, okay, I need to be here for this. Yeah,
because if you're not here, it's going to make it a lot harder.
So I was actually not going to be here Friday, so I can get the house ready to sell it. But I came back and I was like, no, we got to do this.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are things like that I don't know, it's kind of, it's hard to describe when you have brains like ours. We need very, very strict deadlines. And we're very...
Like the deck. That's a great example. That was a very strict deadline. Yeah. And then we said, got it.
Yeah. I can get more done in one day if it's the last day something has to get done than I will for a week. It was the same thing back when I was in school. Yeah. They're like, you have this homework assignment due by Friday. Well, I'm going to do it Thursday night. Yeah. And I'll get it done, but I'm going to wait till Thursday night because I don't know what it is, but it's just my brain. It just, I don't know. It cannot concentrate. It doesn't want to do it. It's hard to focus on certain things unless I'm very, very excited about it. And,
or you absolutely
I'm forced to. Yeah. So it's like I need that tight deadline or I have to be extremely excited. And I think that's why the whole thing of like Jason never finishes anything thing comes from, because when it's from the beginning, I'm very excited, I'm gung-ho, it's a new project, you do big things and you see a lot of progress, and then as the project goes on, at the end it's more of like the tidy up, the tedious, put the next 500 screws in after you already did one. I'm not good with the tedious things. I'm not good with repetition over and over. You can give me 100 tasks of something that would take me 1 minute each, so 100 minutes, and I could just do it, the whole thing. Or if you told me do the same thing for 5 minutes straight, I would rather do the 100 tasks for 100 minutes than the 5 minutes. That's just how my brain works, because it'd be something that's like, okay, how do I fix this? Okay, cool. Okay, how do I, like, my mind, but if I'm doing the exact same thing that's tedious in my head, it is difficult to do. So that's why, like, it's very hard for me to finish a project, because it becomes to those tedious things, and it's I saw a video pop up, and it was kind of like, and I don't know if it's ADD, ADHD, whatever, but this is what they were saying. But it's like when someone tells someone with ADD or whatever to do something, and they're like, no, I can't. They're like, just do it. It's so simple. They're like, no, I physically can't. Like, it's almost like your brain shuts down. It's like, no, I can't do that. Yeah. I know it's simple. I can't do it. And this is probably why I got in trouble a lot. This is probably why I, like, throughout my whole life have had problems with these things. It's my brain will literally be like, nope. And it is hard to break that.
And the problem is,
we're both like that.
Yeah. You got with a woman.
Yeah.
That's the exact same way. So,
I don't know.
That was been diagnosed and I was like on medication from, I think, like 2nd grade up until like not too long ago.
Yeah, and I don't know, unless, because it sounds so stupid to people.
And you'd always be like, if we're working, you get mad at me whenever you're just like, it's like you're not paying attention.
Well, that's different. Yo, they're like, I wonder what lowrider's thinking about. That's not ADD, baby. Why is lowrider sleeping like that? I wonder what he's dreaming of. Speaking of, hey, get over here.
Anyways.
But we just playing, y'all.
But I wonder what he's dreaming about.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, you should be dreaming about what we building.
He's probably dreaming about just cuddling up and.
He's dreaming about you building this for him, so let's go.
All the dogs do love. They've kind of discovered getting in the barn. They're like, ooh, this is nice.
Legit, like we said at the end of the video that it's like 20 degrees cooler in there. I don't know the exact
We need to get
thing,
thermometers.
but yeah, I would love to do that, especially when it gets hotter outside, and truly show you guys. Yes, it is a black roof, and yes, I'm sure if you put a piece of white metal, a piece of black metal, the black one's going to grab more heat. It's like a common thing that most people know. The darker the color, the more it's going to absorb the heat. But we also designed the barn to where the airflow goes through and everything. And it felt 100 times better in the barn than it did outside the barn. Mm-hmm. Right, Roof? Yeah, you up and moving this morning?
You've been a happy boy.
Yeah. So we will do a thing like that at some point, but we've kicked around different ideas of the stalls on the inside. Do we just make them all out of wood? Do we do metal? Do we buy pre-made ones? I wish I could have got them. Anything on Facebook Market, if you don't get it right then and there, it's gone. And these people had these horse stall fronts, and they were 10 feet long, which is exactly what we need. Because the way we're going to do, because it's a 30-foot barn, and the way we're going to separate everything. And they had the rolly doors, like everything. And they had them for cheap. If anyone knows, they were $200 a piece. And they had a bunch of them. And, I mean, they kept changing the thing, pending, someone's coming to pick up this amount, they put a deposit down, whatever, and,
people jumped on it.
Yeah, people jumped, but I see stuff like that here and there, and then, I don't know the name of it, it's, Juneau Acres actually went and bought their pig enclosure thingy from them, but, it's like a farm place, and they sell like panels and gates, and the one that you saw online, and you're like, oh, we should get the whole thing for like $200. And I'm like, that's a panel, $200.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately.
But they make the panels that's already with the gate and everything, with the lock and all that, and I've even thought about maybe if we get that and put it on. But another thing that we have to take into consideration are guard dogs. They can't fit through it. Also, if we have babies, goats and all that, they can't fit through it. Any type of animal we have can't fit through it. And then also it's got to be tall enough so the guard dogs won't jump out. There's a lot of things that we have to, like, fortify. That's why our fence in the front is, like, 6 feet tall. Which, these dogs, which we know... Everyone's gonna be like, they'll just get right through the bars in the front. Yes, but we're gonna put wire and electric fence, and we have different things we're gonna do. But we're trying to get it where the dogs actually stay in, and then we need to fence in the rest of the front of the property so all the dogs stay in. And one, we want to be good, the best owners possibly can, keep them on our property, not let them go to the neighbors' properties and stuff. But also, like, hunting season's coming up. One, you don't want anything to happen, and two, it's just like we want our stuff secured here. We want it to where everything's good, and I don't know, we're getting there. And yesterday, we didn't film it. We were putting water in the pond. We were running that. We haven't really ran the water in a week.
Yeah.
Something like that, because we've been working on the barn. We don't want to move the generator back and forth.
That's the thing. Jason does not like it. If it comes to moving a generator...
I just don't want to. I've done it so long.
Yeah.
And so...
It's like, if it's at a job site, it's staying at that job site.
Until it's done. That's kind of my motivation.
Yeah.
And it's such a pain. And luckily, we have the tractor. We can scoop it up and take it. But...
you'd think it's... Because I completely understand. You think it's such a simple thing, just move it.
Yeah, but I'm like, oh no, because then I gotta move it back, and I gotta. It's when you've done it for as long as I have or longer, it becomes annoying, and it. I don't know. It's unless you've been there, you don't know, and so I'll just leave it at that.
Is that how you talk about me?
Unless been there, you don't know.
No, never mind.
What, baby?
Annoying.
Oh, very much so. You're not annoying. You just get on my nerves sometimes.
Yeah.
We get on each other's nerves a lot of times. But that's love, is what I'm finding out.
So this is what I'm finding out.
But we are getting things done. The barn it's not finished. We still got a lot to do. We will be doing a wet pour concrete slab, a dry pour concrete slab, testing the difference. We're going to be building all the stalls. We got to do the fence. We got all sorts of stuff. And then it's either we do it now. See, this is the thing that's hard too, whenever we're doing all our stuff. There's certain things that if you just don't do it now, you can't do it. And one of those is a garden. If we don't get
gotta do that.
If we don't get it going, we're not gonna have a garden this year, and it's fine.
I want a garden.
Yeah, we'll survive and everything, but we do want a garden, and we need to get to it.
Some okras.
Need to pickle some cucumbers, make some pickles. But we got to get it going. So there's things like that. It's like also Jared asked. He's like, "What? Like, why have y'all not started on the house yet?" And I was like, well, we had to do the barn, and then you guys know I've been looking for every which way to do this. We need a shop. We need like a small garage, something for all our stuff. Our neighbors came over 2 days ago or whatever that was. They're like, hey, hate to bother you guys. We're working on something, and I forgot my tools. Do you have a crescent wrench? And I was maybe, good luck finding it. I said, let's go look. I said, my toolbox is over here, and I laughed. And we went over, and it's just like the side-by-side and the deck. It's like we have nowhere to put anything. Yeah. So we need a shop. We're not talking a massive shop, which eventually, you know, but for now we just need something small enough for all of it. And, you know, people have said, get a shipping container, get all that. Well, the problem with the shipping container is it's only so wide. So say if we start putting our stuff in, whatever you put in the front, that's it. Yeah. You ain't getting behind it. And then you got to take everything out to get to the back. And so we're going through all these different things. And then also we learned we don't want a lot of temporary things. You know, we could easily go get one of the like $2,000 carport canopy things that you can get from like the shed dealers. But that ain't going to last very long. Everyone I ever see here in Oklahoma, because it's 3 million mile an hour winds, they're all bent and broken. And I don't want to spend $2,000 because then, this is how my brain works. I know I'm talking for a long time. But if we're going to spend $2,000 on this carport that probably only going to last like a year, then let's build it ourselves. We built the whole barn. We need to do an actual like cost
breakdown. But
the whole barn is going to be under $7,000. And if we bought that barn, that's a $30,000 barn. Yeah. And we saved a ton of money, and we were able to do it for way cheaper. So then that's my whole thought process is, if we can build it, I don't want to buy it.
Yeah. And then even thought about just getting a little shed.
Yeah.
But then it's the same thing. You spend all this money when we can build it real fast, but then it's like,
and then we
want to start on the house.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
We don't want to be in this camper.
No.
For 5 million years.
No.
But
every day we gotta look at that grain bin and be like, we'll get to you sometime.
Yeah. It's just, we sit out here, just kind of relax, and you just kind of look at it. You're like, someday
we'll get to it.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know, it's these little things that obviously we do have to take care of. This problem with starting with raw land, and again, it is a little bit of a tease. We got that right off the bat, but it's something we had to do.
Yeah,
they were holding on to it, so what can you do?
Yeah, so there are options, but it's more of what makes the most sense for us. And it's like, yes, we can go buy a shed today if we wanted and put it here, but then
you just gotta think like financially, future, everything.
Everything, because then it's like, okay, would it be good to go ahead and pay somebody to do it for us because it would be done quicker? Yes. Financially, you're going to spend more money, but you're going to get the stuff there. Or do you take a little longer, save the money, build it yourself, and then do it? And then you also got to think, we are YouTubers. Everything we do, we film. So if we just pay someone to come put something there, then okay. I know I'm gonna wrap it up after this.
This is a multiple Crockers in one.
It is very hard for me, and I've been like this my whole life.
This whole Crockers is hard for Jason.
Yeah.
These things.
Yeah. It's, if I can build it, I do not want to buy it. And it doesn't matter if I'm broke or balling. It's, if I can build it for cheaper, I'm going to do it myself rather than pay for it. I've always been that way. There's something in me that it is very, very hard to go buy something for a lot more money when I could do it myself for cheaper. And that's what gets me in trouble in life, because it's like, well, we could already be further ahead, but it would be so hard for me to watch somebody come out and build us a little shop for probably like 15, 20 grand when I'm like, I could have done that for like $2,000.
Yeah,
and
I would much rather spend the less money.
Yeah, so it's hard for me to do that. And even it would even come down to like, I don't know, unless it's something that I just don't think I could do. Anything, it doesn't matter what it is. If I could do it myself, I just want to do it myself rather than have someone else do it. And I think that's why also we don't really ask a lot of help from people and all that stuff, because it's like, I could do it myself. I don't want someone to come here and help us do this while we're working on this because I could do that and I don't want you to do it. I'd rather just do it. But then it gets to the point where that's why it takes forever. Because we're trying to do everything ourselves, and you got to learn to like delegate and figure out, okay, it's worth paying for this over this or whatever. But it's just so hard. Like if y'all haven't got the theme of this video, is our brains are messed up. It is very hard for us to go through a day without not being like, I don't know what to do.
And again, we don't have the contrast in brains to be like,
nope.
Pick up where one person slacks. It's just the sames. So
that's why everyone gets mad at us on the internet. It's like, the simple thing would be this. I'm like, for you?
Yeah.
Come get in my head for one day. You'd go crazy. But anyways.
All the chickens are waking up, getting down.
Yeah, we got a whole video coming up on the Crocker Life for the chickens. We're kind of hooking them up, doing a lot of stuff for them.
Today is I don't know, people are going to get mad at us, and people are also going to...
You're going to love us and hate us.
Yeah.
But, hey, that ain't nothing new to us.
Yeah. We're just out here trying our best.
Yeah.
So we came across things.
Yeah. It is not what we wanted.
No.
But we're trying to be decent humans.
Oh.
Is what it is. So, we'll leave you on that one. Thanks for spending 36 more minutes of your morning. This video probably won't come out till like 11 to upload. But we will catch you guys on the next one. And we appreciate all y'all's support and all the kind words and patience and everything with us. So,
yeah.
Catch you on the next one. Bye.